What do you do when you look at the dividend and it does not look like all x powers are there? You can see that there's x to the fourth, there is x cubed, x squared, but where is the x? It's not there. So what do? Well, what you do is you have to put a zero in its place. You got to be super careful here because the tendency would be to just not think and say, okay, well, I'm just dropping the variables, so I'm going to get -1, 2, 6, -1, right? And then go from there. But that's not right. Because remember, whenever you have the x to the fourth, that's your leading term. You should have 5 entries that you fill out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It has to be 5. And usually your teacher is not going to tell you. It's always one more, right? Because all the powers of x plus a number. And that's what this is very important. So when you are missing a variable, then you need to put a 0 in its place. Okay, so we're just going to have -1 here, 2 here, 6 here, but then 0 and then -1. Teachers just love that, like to catch you on not noticing that there is that term that's missing. Now, what do you put in the box? In the box, you always put the opposite. Like if this is right here, -1, then you put a +1 in the box. And then you go from there. So what do? You're just going to drop this down over here and get -1. Then multiply this -1 by the box, and that's going to give you, again, -1. Then you want to go ahead and add these two, so 2 and -1. That'll give you 1. And then again, multiply this entry by the box, that gives you 1. Then again, you are adding these 6 plus 1, that'll give you a 7. And then 7 times 1 times the box is 7. Okay, now add up 0 and 7, and that gives you 7. Finally, 7 times 1 is a 7. And now we add these up, and guess what? In this case, we actually did not get a 0. Remember, this last number has a very special meaning. This is called the remainder. So we actually got a non-zero remainder. What that tells you is that your original polynomial, so this -x to the fourth plus 2x cubed and plus 6x squared minus 1, can be written as, first comes the divisor. So what dividing by was x minus 1. So we're going to put x minus 1 right here. Then comes the quotient, which we're going to get to in a second, but then plus remainder. And that remainder is, in this case, going to be plus 6. So that is going to go in this box. Wow, what's important is watch for that remainder. If it's 0, that would tell you that x minus 1 is actually a factor of your polynomial, and later on we will see that this 1, we'll call it a 0. If it so happened that the remainder is a 0, we'll call that number a 0. But it's not. So we already know that x equals 1 is not a 0 of this polynomial, okay? Because the remainder is 6. And the last thing we need to do is figure out the quotient. Now, how do we figure out the quotient? Look at the dividend, or the polynomial that you started with. Okay, so I got -x to the fourth, 2x cubed, and so on. Cross out the first term. Okay, cross this out. What's going to be left? Cubic, quadratic, there is an x missing, but we will still have to insert it. So you're going to have, this is going to be x cubed. This is going to be x squared. This is going to be x, and the other one is a number. So the quotient now is going to be -x cubed plus x squared plus 7x plus 7. And that actually will also go here. So this is -x cubed plus x squared plus 7x plus 7. Again, you can go ahead and FOIL and show that that's correct, but it's going to take forever. So hopefully our synthetic division is right, and we found the quotient and we found the remainder.